Let's start with the next question. Five jumble sentences are given and you have to find the odd sentence out. See, when I start with the first statement, no known real researcher of human behavior would say that gender is all nurture or nature. So we are talking about what type of gender is actually, or we are defining gender in a way. The evidence for biological basis for gender certainty doesn't mean we should be complacent in the face of sexism. Now we are talking about biological basis and sexism here. It is not related with second. Many people are uncomfortable with the idea that gender is not purely a social construct. Again, we are talking what gender is, so searching for the definition what gender is. Despite these empirical truths, researchers who study the biological basis of gender often face political pushback. Okay, so again, we are talking about biological basis of gender, and they are facing some political pushback. Okay, what it doesn't mean is face of sexism. We are not talking about this, but biological basis of gender often face political pushback, and there is political preference for gender to be only a reflection on social factors or so entirely malleable. So these two are related because we are talking about political scenario here, and 1 and 3 are related. Even when I talk about biological basis, you can see biological basis for gender is there, but option number 1, 3, 4, and 5, these four are actually discussing the nature of the gender. But when I come to option number 2, certainly it's talking about the evidence for this basis, which becomes a different vertical while discussing human behavior or gender's nature or how it comprises of. So this becomes odd one out. Coming to next question, you can see you are having one paragraph and you have to fit the sentence into this paragraph. Okay, so yet each day the flock produced eggs with calcareous shells, though they apparently had not ingested any calcium from land, which was entirely lacking in limestone. So when I talk about this, each day the flock produced eggs. So we are talking about hen actually. So let's start. Earlier in this century, a young Breton schoolboy who preparing himself for a scientific career began to notice a strange fact about hens in his father's poultry yard. And as they scratched the soil, they constantly seemed to be pecking at the specks of mica, siliceous material dotting the ground. So this is in continuation with this, and he was talking about hens as they scratched. Okay, so I cannot put it here because here we are talking about each day the flock produce hens and they. You can match it and constantly seem to be packing at specks of mica, siliceous material dotting the ground. No one could explain to Louis Kevrin why the chicken selected the mica or why each time a bird was killed for the family cooking pot, no trace of the mica could be found in its gizzard. So I can see that when I'm talking about mica and no trace was found, so this is in continuation that what he was observing. Okay. Now what happens? It took Kevin many years to establish chickens were transmuting one element to another. So how we came to this thing? Because no trace was found when the bird was killed for the purpose of cooking. Yet each day, okay, yet each day frog produce eggs. So you can fit in here at third one with calciferous shells, though they apparently had not ingested any calcium from land, which was entirely lacking in limestone. So this was the major question which arrived to Kevin, that each day these are producing eggs with calciferous shells, not ingested calcium from land which is entirely lacking in limestone. So then he got the final answer that the chickens were transmuting one element into another. So for the option number 3, this is the correct answer. Okay.